Hello everyone, my name is Bob Mitch and welcome back to some more Star Citizen. We are on the 317 live server and it has begun. Invictus week, as you can see, is behind me. We have the defense consigns, or the defense con marquees if you like, behind me. And the Drake interplanetary thing off to the right there. So we're in the spaceport at Horizon. We're at August Dunlow spaceport. I finally have some Ninetales armor after fighting the server and some lovely asset issues. But now what we're going to do is we're going to go and do the Javelin tour. So I've done this once before, however my graphics card was my 1070 and performance was not great at best, so we're going to go and do a 2022 version and we're going to go and have a look around the Javelin and see if anything's changed. I don't expect it to have changed, but yeah, we're going to go and have a look and we're going to go and tour the Javelin. So if you are new to Star Citizen and you are looking to tour this giant destroyer, then when the fleet travels, it's very easy to spot. You will see a spinning icon on the star map, that is F2, and it will give you a shortcut to locate the Invictus launch fleet. And at the various locations we're around, as you can see, the screens will flicker on and off as they go around. See, this one's just gone off. We will hover for a minute whilst it plays some random advert. But what they do is they basically show the information of what's going on, and it will tell you where the Bengal carrier is, if that's going to do a flyby, as you can see. So that's going to do a flyby in a minute and a half. I'm going to miss that. I'm going to have to film that later on and maybe edit it in. And then you can see that the Javelin tour is still open for another hour at August Dunlow Spaceport. When you are at the spaceports, be this August Dunlow here, which is at Horizon, so the Javelin actually descends into Crusader's atmosphere and docks at the spaceport here, whereas at the other planets it tends to dock at the orbital spaceports, so Everest Harbour, Bygenie Point and Port Tressler. You can see here we have a specific Javelin tour button, and that's what we're going to hit. So this is just going to take us on our way. We're going to go to the Javelin. And here we go. It's not going to look very great because it is nighttime, as it always is in my videos. But there it is. That's the Warhammer, the name of the Javelin here. So giant destroyer. And when we cross this bridge, it will take us inside. And this will be the second time I've done this, because I've only ever really ran around one of these things once, and that was when I did my last video. So I'm quite excited actually. I want to see if they've changed anything, or any of the NPCs, or see if there's anything I've missed. But I'm not really going to try and talk that much. I just want to leave it to you guys to experience the Javelin tour. If you aren't playing this yourself, you really should, and come and see this thing. So here we go. Welcome to the Navy's Warhammer, as I'm sure these NPCs will tell us.
Attention. I just received word that the Bengal carrier Barbary is on approach with those
Invictus
interested.
celebrations, I'd like to invite you to take a look around and get an up-close look at an active military vessel. Some of the actual crew members have graciously volunteered their time to explain what life is like aboard the ship. I would like to remind you that the entire ship is not available for exploration, so please be respectful of unauthorized areas. Thank you, and enjoy your visit.
There we go. And so a couple of other people leaving. Now I remember there was turrets down here. This person is an NPC. I wasn't sure if it was a player, but you can jump in these turrets. Obviously you can't fire them because we're in an armistice zone, but you can see them just at the bottom of the screen there. These giant Revenant Cannons, size 9 guns. Size 9s? I think they're size 9. I could be wrong. They're just ginormous, and there's giant banks of them all along the Javelin. And the cool thing about this is if you press F4 whilst you're in these turrets, just like any other ship, you get to do a cool pan around. Unfortunately, it's just going nighttime at Horizon, so I can't really do some cool daytime shots. Maybe I'll overlay some of them in the video that I grabbed off the PTU. So just to make up for it, but yeah, really, really cool. Right, let's descend again.
As a special treat, we've safetied this turret so you can get a taste of what it feels like to be a gunner. All the weapons have been deactivated, so don't worry about accidental discharge. But I'll remind you this is an active military vessel, so be respectful all the same. Thank you, and have a great Invictus.
That lady just tells us about the turrets there. We can't access everything, as the dude in the door just said. So here's the crew quarters.
Hi folks, welcome to the Warhammer. I am leading Starman Detmer, and this, as you've probably guessed, is one of the 2 barracks on the ship. And I know, you must be thrilled to see where Navy personnel sleep, and let me be the first to tell you, it's every bit as exciting as promised. Javelins are pretty great when it comes to sleeping arrangements, as they have enough bunks for the full crew, which is amazing because it avoids situations known as hot bunking, where you swap out bunks with somebody on the opposite shift, and that is horrible. This one time on my old ship, I had to share with this guy who had just the worst smelling socks. And I'm talking, you know, the military could have weaponized it kind of bad. And I had to try and fall asleep with that every day. So, yeah, after that, these bunks are a dream. And I'm just thinking that, actually, I don't think my CEO would like me talking about how bad hot bunking is. So, maybe just forget I said anything. Anyway, each one has special slots for personal effects, and is capable of sealing you up to give you a little privacy, as people are always moving around the barracks. Sleeping schedules shift slightly too, so they can activate the full crew at a moment's notice if the ship enters heavy combat, you know. So you're kind of always sleeping with one eye open. I mean, we get shorter sleep schedules if we are patrolling dangerous space, so, I mean, you're already grabbing sleep when you can, and... Sorry, I am rambling. Otherwise, yeah, I'm not sure what to tell you. This is where we sleep. Not a whole lot of mystery to it. But I hope this has been enlightening. Please have a look around if you like, but don't touch anything in the bunks, as this is an active ship, and everything in here is the property of the crew. So, be cool.
There we go. Bunkman. Assuming this is a shower block. Yep. So massive shower block. I believe the full crew complement of this thing is 80 when it's fully crewed. That will be for lore purposes, so story and, you know, proper Navy complement. When you're with players, I imagine obviously when these things get flyable, you'll just want a few engineers to help maintain things, and then you want gunners, so it won't be 80 because you won't need chefs or anything like that. Area around here, another sign telling you how long this thing's got to go. If you're walking around here yourself and it's coming to the end of the timer for the Javelin, there is like an announcer lady who goes over the tannoy and basically says to go away. Can't go down there, as you can see. That's all sealed off. They got some arcade machines. Should tour these really, shouldn't we? Textures haven't loaded properly on these, and they got a busted one. Of course they do.
Hello everyone, my name's Lieutenant Horrigan, and as you can probably tell, this is Warhammer's mess hall. Definitely one of the more popular spaces on the ship. The mess has a fully automated dispensary since we operate on rotating shifts. We have a standard crew complement of 65 to 70, and meals need to be available at all times, so we have a culinary team always on duty, ready to lend support. Famous pilot Harry O'Reilly was once quoted as saying, if you ever want to take the temperature of a ship's crew, spend 20 minutes in their mess. Now this is one of the main social areas of the ships where crew members from different departments can catch up in their own downtime. We also use the mess for social events like birthdays, holidays, and promotions, since it's able to hold so many people. Our skipper, Captain Medcalf, is a big believer in casual gatherings. It's in an effort to entrench camaraderie. So we're in here pretty often. Now, you've probably noticed our games in the corner, so I'll just address the question that everyone asks. Yes, it's pretty competitive. The XO currently has the score to beat. Anyway, I'd like to invite you to have a look around.
Here we go. And the other side of the crew quarters. It's cool when you wander around, you can see all these little notification things. Obviously these wouldn't be here on an active vessel. And then a dark room.
Welcome aboard the UEES Warhammer. As part of this year's Invictus celebrations, I'd like to invite you to take a look around and get an up-close look.
As you can see, the NPCs trigger when you walk near them, so let's see if we can get the gunner lady to talk this time.
Alright, let's settle down. My name's Lieutenant Commander Alderman. I run the turret complement aboard the Warhammer. That means I'm in charge of coordinating fire between our various gunners during a combat engagement in order to maximize combat effectiveness. But when we aren't in combat, I strive to keep my team sharp by running through engagement drills and simulated encounters. Now, the Javelin comes standard with 15 turrets, 13 of which have embedded operators. There are 6 turrets like the one you see here that run along the side of the ship, each of which is equipped with a pair of size 7 cannons for larger targets and a pair of size 4 Gatlings for smaller targets like fighters and even incoming missiles and torpedoes. We've got 4 more turrets on the bow of the ship, armed with size 7 energy cannons and 3 gunners on the underside with the same. All this firepower is coupled with a heavy payload of ordnance to make the Warhammer a real problem for all sizes of ship, hence why we can be tasked to operate independently on patrols without support from the rest of the battle group. During the Xeno threat incursion, our gunners were responsible for the destruction of over 70 hostile elements and several capital ships, as well as protecting the ship from incoming ordnance. As a special treat, we've safetied this turret so you can get a taste of what it feels like to be a gunner. All the weapons have been deactivated, so don't worry about accidental discharge. But I'll remind you this is an active military vessel, so be respectful all the same. Thank you, and have a great Invictus.
There we go, now she's talking. And as you can see, we've already been in the turret. So there we go, she corrected me. Size 7 turrets, not size 9. I just knew they were huge. Okay. I know there is an upstairs element, so let's see if we can find it. There's look like some stairs over there.
Hello everyone, my name's Lieutenant Horrigan, and as you can probably tell, this is what...
So you can see we've got bridge and armory. We can go this way, but we can't access much. As you can tell, the armory is very sealed off. I think these guys tell you to go away. Yep. But I believe, if I remember correctly, we can go into the briefing room. If the NPCs would let me.
Hello, welcome to the UEES Warhammer. This Javelin-class destroyer was originally built by Aegis Dynamics and has been in active service since 2832. Launching under the command of Captain Omar Singh, the ship initially served as a combat support vessel in the 2nd Fleet, 6th Battle Group, a posting that put it close to the Van Duel front. The Warhammer saw action during the fall of Caliban in 2884, where it protected retreating civilian and naval forces when the system ultimately fell, earning a ribbon for valor in the process. For the next several decades, the Warhammer transitioned between fleets in a variety of support and patrol positions, even participating in the UEE push to reclaim the Nexus system in the 2930s. Most recently, the Warhammer distinguished itself as the primary combat vessel to repel the outlaw group known as Xenothreat from the Stanton system. Since then, the Warhammer has been placed in dry dock for repairs, but is heading back to active service once this year's Invictus festivities are concluded. The room you're currently seated in is the main briefing room for the entire ship. Based around a hollow volume built by Microtech, the crew gathers here to discuss everything from battle strategies to repair schedules. The Marine detail assigned to this ship also uses this room to plan out their boarding actions or outline combat strategies. This room has even acted as a venue for off-duty activities, such as vid screenings or sporting event parties. We hope that you'll take the opportunity to explore the ship and get an up-close look at one of the vanguards of order. On behalf of Captain Metcalf and the rest of the crew, I want to wish you a fantastic Invictus. I hope we see you next year.
There we go. I think, if I remember right, that's more or less it. He's sinking through the floor. Welcome to Star Citizen. So yeah, the bridge would be this way, as well as the armory. But we can't get onto either of those at the minute. Sadly, the only bridge you can see of a Javelin is the crashed one, which is on Daymar, which I have yet to find in quite a few patches, because they keep moving it around. But I do believe that's most of the tour. You can go a little bit further around and see some more interior here and there, but a lot of it is just sealed off, as you can see. You just get told to go away. But as you can see, that's pretty much all of the Javelin that we can see around here. So yeah, it's short but sweet, and it's definitely worth seeing, because at the end of the day, this is going to be a player-controlled vessel. Those that have paid lots and lots of money, I believe the current going rate is $2,500, or have been fortunate enough to get something like 2,042 referrals, 2,072 referrals, and there is people who have done that, have been fortunate enough to get themselves graced with a Javelin. And definitely not a ship that you can fly on your own, as you can imagine. So yeah, it's something. I just can't wait to be able to have them in the hands of players to see what they can do with them, because when people have flown the Idrises, it's been great fun. But that, anyway, is the Javelin tour. Let's see what else we can do. And then, of course, if you take the tram to the Vision Centre, you are brought to the Invictus venue for this year. So if you take the tram that is the Vision Centre one, that's all the way to the end and left. It will bring you here, and over the next week, this is where you'll be able to come and rent all the vehicles for the free fly. So this is where you need to be. And day one of Invictus is all down to Anvil. So Anvil Aerospace is the vendor. When you come into the main hall, you can see here, it just spools out in front of you. It's really easy to get around. And then when you come into the centre here, from up the stairs behind the big holographic man, you'll know who I mean if you see him. There's a map right in the centre that tells you where everything is and where you need to go. So for example, down here, you can see that we've got the Carrack slap bang in the centre. We've got a Terrapin, Hawk, Gladiator, C8 Pisces, the 2 Hornets, a Valkyrie, and the Hurricane, and the Lightning. And the ground vehicles in the ground floor. To save some confusion that a few people have had, you can see that these areas here, they're only highlighted when they've got ships inside. These ones are all empty, and then you just need to follow in the corridors down here. When it's referring to this area, lower level and a hollow suite, the stairs are just here. So you can go down there and have a look. I would very, very, very highly recommend you come and have a look around here. It's most important you do, because if you miss this, it's kind of the only one opportunity that you're going to get to be able to see the F8 Lightning. So they have both variants here. They've got one that you can sit in, that's just the standard sort of military one that the UEE Navy currently uses. They're heavy fighters, and they're essentially gunships. They have an absurd amount of firepower on them. And then they have a red one spinning on the central platform here that you can see, that is the 999 Squadron. So the UEE display team, kind of like the Red Arrows or the Blue Eagles, or that kind of parallel to what we have here on good old Earth. So there we go. And that is it for day one, at least my coverage of it anyway. I'm not going to do it too much around the halls, because the idea is that I want you guys to come and do it. The point being that Star Citizen is free to play during the Invictus week. You do not need to have bought an in-game package. All you need to do is create an account and follow the instructions once you've done that, and the website will guide you through getting yourself a C8 Pisces, or a C8X I think it is, so it's the Explorer variant. so that you can travel around the Stanton system without worrying about not being able to get anywhere. The caveat, of course, that you can go up to almost any ship in these halls, barring this one that I'm staring at right now, which is the military version of the F8 Lightning, which isn't available to players yet. And you can rent them for 24 hours, so all you have to do is waltz up to the ship, highlight it with the F key, and you rent it, and then it's available for 24 hours for you to use in any way you want. You do have to claim it and insure it if you blow it up in the same way that you would if you owned a normal ship. But yeah, it's definitely worth it. If you are on the fence about playing Star Citizen, with all the upgrades, and I say upgrades, all the patches, all the content they've added, everything they've added over the past year even, things like all the stuff they've done to Microtech missions, even though they're not doing Zenithreat at the minute, it is worth coming to check it out, even if it's for a performance increase check that your PC can run it or not. Granted, Horizon still murders people's PCs at the best of times, but it's definitely worth coming to have a look if you're on the fence about playing the game. If you do, then welcome aboard, and welcome along for the wild ride that is PTU and everything else that's going on, because even on the live servers, there's still issues going on right now. With the influx of players because of Free Fly, there is actually server queues, which is something I have not seen in Star Citizen before. So yeah, you just have to be aware that it's an alpha and things go wrong and things break, and take it or leave it. If it's your style of game, go for it. Anyway, day one, Anvil Aerospace, Invictus Week. Come and tour the Javelin, come and play the game, come and fly free internet spaceships and do missions and get blown up and turn your ships into lawn darts on moons. It's great fun. Just come and play the game to break it. Thank you very much. Thank you for watching, everyone, and I hope you enjoyed. If you like this and think I deserve it, please give it a like, consider subbing if you fancy sticking around. If you're thinking of taking part in the game, feel free to use my referral code on screen or click the link below for bonus in-game money that helps me out as well. See you in the next one.